All right, Lee Teat, Friday main event coming to you from South Pittsburg, one of the biggest rivalry games in the state, probably alongside, I guess, the Alcoa Maryville games also tonight. Probably the two biggest rivalries I know of in the state of Tennessee.
I'd have to agree on that. This one down here in South Pittsburg tonight, there's definitely no love lost.
Absolutely not. And folks from Jasper be loading up in the car here pretty soon, heading over this way. So we're expecting. I think South Pittsburg Lee would be heavily favored. I'm guessing, but when these two teams go to battle, you never know what's going to happen.
That's right. There's a lot of pride going up in this game.
Absolutely. Well, Lee, we'll go ahead. We got a good buddy of ours over in East Tennessee. He plays early, so we'll go ahead and get him on. We got Knox Catholic head coach Steve Matthews on with us. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're great, Coach. I think the last time we talked to you, I believe, was right after that championship game, your second one last season there at Knoxville Catholic. Now, you obviously, Coach, you've played Memphis. You had stints in the pros. You played with the Chiefs, played with the Titans, among other teams. Again, second state title. I was curious, where does winning these state titles as a high school coach rate, in comparison to all the levels of football you've played?
That's a good question. It's definitely a different feeling. Getting drafted into the NFL is a big moment, in my life. And then I was able to start. I bounced around the NFL, never really became a full-time player, but I was able to start one game at quarterback, and so that was obviously a big feeling. This is a little bit different because you're mostly happy for your players, and watching these young men, experience a championship, and just almost a feeling of relief when it's over. It's definitely a lot more fun to play than coach, but they're both great feelings. You feel real good about them, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably say I enjoyed myself more as a player.
I figured that's probably what I would say too. Well, Coach, I guess the big news over here in the mid-state, we heard Jack Jancet, your quarterback, he's suffered an injury. I think his older brother Zach was the guy that led you guys to that 2015 title. Lower body injury, we're told, 6 to 8 weeks out. How's the recovery going for him?
Well, I think so far he's doing okay. He's on one of those little bicycle things they ride around in now. He's doing okay. But we feel good about our backup quarterback. Drew Gregg will start tonight, and he filled in last week and did a nice job. And so we're just he's going to be new, but we're not going to change a whole lot. We're going to still do what we do. When we practice, we give our ones and twos about the same amount of reps. And so when someone does go down, you do feel comfortable with at least the guy that's going in has had plenty of reps in practice.
Coach, you guys fell to a really good Maryville team in week 1, but made a great turnaround with a quick clock running against Baylor in week 2. I know you had your subs in that game, and you just spoke of that, your ones and your twos getting the same amount of reps, so that's cool. But I'm guessing this bye week came at a good time for you with your QB down to get some more reps for your backup.
Yeah, it did. Opening up Maryville to Baylor, that's tough. Those are both two outstanding teams, and so we had some guys banged up, and we were able to take advantage of it. We decided, it's so early in the season. We really worked hard. We went after it pretty good, and I hope that ends up being the right strategy. Every coach is different, but we decided it's early in the season. We still want to get in shape, and we still want to stay sharp. So we really got after it, and I think it was a good timing. I like the way our schedule's set up. We've got we had the open date, and now we go a stretch of Cleveland, Saudi, Brentwood Academy, and Ray County, which won't be easy. So those 4 in a row. But having a break before that, is a good spot for us.
Right.
And Coach, you guys have got Cleveland tonight. I think their quarterback, if we heard right, their returning quarterback opted not to play this year. I think they've had a few kids transfer out. Scott Cummings does a great job over there. I think they did beat William Blunt last week. How did the Blue Raiders look on film to you?
They are I was like you. I kept hearing, there's some stuff going on. They've got a lot of kids leaving, and I really like Scott. But at the same time, I'm kind of thinking, that's good for us, So, but then when I watched them on film, I was almost disappointed because they still have a lot of good players.
Right.
They, Maryville's a great program and a great team, and they just seem to do everything right. But I don't know if I'd call them athletic. Mm-hmm. They're just a very good football team, and Cleveland is probably going to be one of the most athletic teams we play.
Really?
Obviously, they're not in Maryville's class or Brentwood Academy's class, but they have athletes, and and anytime those guys get loose, they're fast, and you got to be able to track them down, and that's definitely one of our concerns tonight.
Mike Motor and Lee Teat discussing Fighting Irish football with Coach Steve Matthews. We got him on the phone with us now. Lee?
Coach Matthews, you guys, in my opinion, have one of the best, or two of the best linemen in high school football in Tucker and Cooper Mays on your offensive line. Are both of those guys on the same side of the football, right side, left side, or are they split?
No, we're playing Cooper at left guard and Tucker at right tackle.
I got you.
And we play around with some formations where we put them on the same side. And we actually, against Maryville, put Cooper at center and started that game. And looking back on it, that might have been a mistake. We were trying to play around and get some of our guys out there. So, but no, we keep them separate for the most part. There are a few formations where we put them beside each other, right. But they are really improving rapidly. Tuck just got back from Notre Dame over the weekend, and Cooper got back from Georgia. So they're two of the most highly recruited players in the state. And I know Tennessee coaches are going to be here tonight, among others. And so it's good for our program, and especially have two good character men that are also really good players.
I was going to ask you about that because, Tucker, he's from my neck of the woods, along with you down there in Shelbyville. I think you actually told me before you was friends with his parents. So, that kid's unbelievable, man.
He's
you was fortunate to get him, wasn't you?
we were. I know. When he was definitely going to go to a private school, and so he was kind of looking around at different private schools, and everyone was kind of like, "Well, how did you guys meet? How'd you guys meet?" Well, I met his mom in chemistry class in 1987.
There you go. You was scouting early, wasn't you?
Yeah. I'm glad I was nice to her.
There you go. Coach, that defense of yours, man, I think they pitched a shutout against Baylor there in the first half. I think you forced 4 turnovers. Who do you consider a leader for you guys on that side of the ball?
It's funny. We have some good players on that side of the ball, but there's one that's JT Quinones has kind of came out of nowhere, and he wasn't even starting really. I don't think he started against Maryville. He's kind of wedged his way in there, and it's a good story of guys that work hard, that aren't overly talented, but just work hard, have a nose for the ball. And he's one of our better defensive players right now. But defensively, I like where we are. We have a really good staff, and those guys have done a really good job of being cohesive together. We don't have the athletes that we had last year, but overall, I feel like we're playing a little bit better on defense.
Coach, I know you're only 2 games into this season, but what area do you feel that this team needs to improve on if you're going to make another run at that title?
Well, I'm still a little concerned about our secondary, just because, like I said, we don't have the athleticism we've had in the past back there. So, like Maryville had a new quarterback. He started 12 for 12, and that part's concerning. And then we've kind of been running back by committee, and it's been hit or miss. It's only been 2 games.
Right.
And we're extremely. We start 2 seniors. We're starting 2 seniors tonight on offense and 3 on defense. So we're extremely young, and so getting these guys experience as we move forward is going to be huge, and just how much they can learn in really a short time.
Coach, Nate, you finally make it into region play, Saudi Daisy. Those guys gave you a fit last year. I think you guys actually come from behind, won that game 49-48. Have you looked ahead at the Trojans any at all?
No, I do know last year we looked past them.
So that won't happen again, will it?
Hey, that's pretty candid honesty right there, buddy.
Well, I'll tell you, I watched them on film on a Saturday, and and no disrespect to them, but last year we just had some really good players.
Right.
And I told our coaches, I said, we can. I think we can just line up and go play, and we don't, let's not staff meet, but we'll just kind of do it on our own and kind of get the day off. And I'll never do that again because
lesson learned, huh?
Yeah, lesson learned. No more days off. They got after us pretty good. They really deserved to win that game. They outcoached us and outplayed us in every aspect. I almost felt guilty coming away with a lucky win. It was really a bad call that allowed us to win. To be honest with you.
Coach Steve Matthews joins us here on the Friday main event. Lee?
Coach, Ray County's getting a lot of talk over here as a potential top 5 team again this year. Do you view the Golden Eagles probably as the biggest hurdle for you guys if you hope to win another region title?
I would say on paper, yes, but Saudi Daisy is definitely in that conversation just because they can do so much on offense. But Ray's a little bit frustrating to play against. They hold the ball and keep it away from you, and if you're not getting stops, you'll look up and 8-9 minutes have run off the clock and they just pound it out and keep the ball from you, and so they can be tough to play. And I know Coach Pemberton does a great job, and we're going to their place this year,
right?
Which always creates its own set of challenges as well. So I would say, us and them, it will be a great game.
Right.
Well, Coach, I know you got a game to get ready for, buddy. I don't want to hold you up anymore. Mr. Vic Grider just walked up over here. We're going to get him on the set with us. But I appreciate you taking the time to jump on with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. If you guys ever need me, I'll be happy to help.
Hey, if we see you again up in Cookeville, man, we'll definitely hook up with you.
It sounds great. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, bye.
All right, Lee. Let's scroll this schedule here right quick, and then we got the man with us here.
Sounds good.
All right, Lee Teat, Friday main event back. We've got the man. We got Coach Vic Grider with us. Coach, we appreciate you jumping on with us.
Yes, sir.
Glad to be here, guys.
Coach, 8 miles. And as a matter of fact, I think Stephen Hart just wrote a book, 8 Hateful Miles. This is a rivalry that probably trumps all rivalries. What created the intensity between these two programs?
I mean, I think it obviously goes back to the communities, that there's so much pride in both of the communities. And, let's be honest, through the years, both programs have been extremely successful, have won a lot of football games. And, when you put winning games together with communities that are very driven by their school and their school activities and are passionate about their sports programs, especially the football programs, it makes for a very intense rivalry from people that, 365 days a year have to live together,
right.
And, they all shop at Walmart and they all go to the same places to eat. And then, one Friday night a year they get together and play a football game. And, it's made for a lot of interesting and memorable moments through the years.
Yes, sir.
Coach, I know you just logged your 200th victory in 19 seasons as a head coach last Friday. Congrats.
Well, I appreciate that. That tells me that I've probably coached a long time, But no, seriously, I've been very blessed by obviously a lot of really good players and a lot of really good coaches around me. And, I learned a long time ago, you're only as good as the people around you. And I've been very blessed during my time here at South Pittsburg.
And also I wanted to congratulate you on your induction to the Chattanooga Sports Hall of Fame. And we know you were inducted with former Marion County head coach Ken Colquitt. How cool was that, being the crosstown rivals
going
that
in
you
together.
two guys went in together?
Yeah, that was a really neat deal because, Coach Colquitt was the coach at Marion, when I played here. And then obviously we ended up, coaching against each other
right.
a few years later several times. And, I don't know anybody through the years as a player and as a coach that I had more respect for. Ken always had his guys ready to play at a high level, and he could teach you a lot about preparation, and getting your guys ready to play the game. And, to be able to receive that honor at the same time with him was a really neat deal, and, something I won't ever forget.
And Coach Lee mentioned 200 wins, averaging 10 wins a year. I think you had 4 state titles, 2 runner-ups. Your dad, Don Grider, over here, also averaged 10 wins. I think he had 3 championships in 5 tries. How much does it mean to you having him, to where he's near this field, kind of in a way still taking part in this game?
Well, he's the reason we're here,
yes, sir.
And, we've all done, I think, a pretty good job of realizing that this wouldn't be happening with us if it wasn't for the things that he did before us. It's not like we just started winning football games here in the last 15 or 20 years. We've
right.
won them at South Pittsburg for a long, long time, and even way back before my dad. South Pittsburg was an extremely successful high school football program, and obviously for myself and my brothers on my staff also, and for us to have the opportunity to coach here together and try to continue what we've been doing, and that's kind of our goal. We just want to keep on South Pittsburg being South Pittsburg, and at the end of the day, we want to win football games, but if we're still doing the things that make South Pittsburg what it is, and winning games comes along with it, then we're pretty satisfied.
Yes, sir. Mike Mulder and Lee Teat talking to South Pittsburg head coach Vic Grider here on the Friday main event.
Well, Coach, as we talked about, you got crosstown rival Marion County coming in, and I'm sure in your 19 years you've seen some great battles with this Jasper team, and also as a player, you just mentioned. What game as a player or a coach would you say is the greatest one that you remember in this rivalry?
Well, when you get older, sometimes the things that are the most vivid in your head are the ones that was the most recent.
Right,
you have trouble remembering real far back.
I understand that.
The game here 2 years ago was probably as exciting as any of the ones I've been involved with. Besides the fact that obviously we won the game in the last 10 seconds on a long pass, and just the atmosphere in general. But I think that's kind of the game that got us headed back to where we wanted to be. Right. When I came back 3 years ago, we were kind of on hard times a little bit, and they roughed us up pretty good that first year, and
right.
We kind of made a commitment that night that we weren't going to let it happen again, and honestly, we came down here that next year and won a football game where we probably weren't the best team, but our kids figured out a way to win it, and since then. We've been on a pretty good roll. I think we've won about 27 or 28 games since then, and only lost 1, I think. So,
that's great.
Right.
We feel like that was the game that was kind of the stepping stone for us, and obviously for it to end the way it did was an extremely exciting experience.
Coach Ronto Tipton and Garrett Rawson having great seasons for you so far. I would expect, if I'm Marion County coming in here, I'm going to, I know Braden Sanders started for you guys as a freshman last year. He's got a lot of snaps behind him, especially for a sophomore. I'm thinking they're probably going to try to make him beat you guys through there. Are you kind of expecting that?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, and to be honest, we kind of expect that week in and week out because people know we like to run up,
right.
Line up and run the football.
Yes,
but, we feel very comfortable with Braden throwing it around. Last week against Sell Creek, I think he was 8 for 8 with about 156 yards
there you go.
And 3 touchdowns. So, we're not afraid to let him throw
it.
No, that's a pretty good night. And Braden's just getting better and better. You have to remind yourself sometimes that he's still 15 years old and he's a sophomore. Mm-hmm. And he's just going to continue to improve. Jalen Hubbard, who played quarterback for us a lot last year, when we were trying to find that identity there, has moved out to the receiver spot and has done a really good job for us there. So, we're not afraid to throw the thing around if we have to, but, y'all followed us long enough to know we want to run the football.
Right.
And,
that's right.
The key to us is going to be figuring out ways to attack them and ways to run the thing.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, you're off to another great start this year at 3-0. Teams won very convincingly in all 3 games. But for me, you were just talking about the offense, but the thing for me that kind of headlining you right now is your defense. You've only given up 1 score, and that was to Boyd. Were you expecting your defense to be that dominating this
Well,
year coming
honestly, we thought that was going to be the strength of our football team. We knew that we had pretty much our entire defensive front back from last year,
Right.
and we knew they had the ability to be a very good group. We had pretty much the entire back end back in our secondary, which made us feel good about that. We knew we had to find a couple linebackers. We lost 2 really good ones last year. In Sawyer Kelly and Mason Fuquay, but
Kelly was
Kelly was as good a player as we've probably ever had around here. But we thought that the defense had a chance to be pretty special. Now how good they're going to be yet, I'm not sure how much we've been tested yet.
Right.
I think we'll find out a little bit more tonight because we've not really seen somebody that can throw the way that Marion can. But I'm proud of where we're at. What we look like, we've got veteran guys over there. They're guys that are playing at a really high level. So, it's just a work in progress. I think we're going to be better.
Moore County, of course, Greenback, defending champions. You know all about them. We thought that Whitwell held her own, man. They looked pretty good against Greenback. Do you think that's probably the region title right there?
I don't have much doubt. Obviously Whitwell, we've already seen a little bit of them, and they're a quality football team. They look like just what I was talking about. They look like a team that's got a lot of returning starters, guys that have won a lot of football games. They won 12 football games last year, and they're something to be reckoned with now.
Yes,
There's
sir.
no doubt about it, and you try not to get too wrapped up on regular season games, but odds are, if things go right, like I think they will, we're probably going to have to play those guys again, like we did last year.
Right.
And you want that second one to be at home.
That's
but
right.
For that second one to be at home, you got to win the first one.
one.
So, that's going to be a huge football game. But, I think
you got to go there this year.
We got to go there, which, both the games last year were here, so obviously that helped us. But, that game's still 6 weeks away, I think.
True.
So,
I was looking ahead a little
bit. We'll worry about that one then and try to take care of the ones in front of us right now.
Mike Mulder and Lee T talking to South Pittsburg head coach Vic Grider here on the Friday main event.
Coach, looking at 1A as a whole, I think most people have Greenback favored to repeat. And like Mike said, we went and saw them in this 3-way scrimmage, and I was very impressed with their quarterback play. He's a good little ball player. Besides Greenback, do you see a sleeper out there on this side?
It's funny. I would say it's Whitwell. I'm not sure how many people are really looking at Whitwell, but I think Whitwell has the people at multiple positions to be able to make a deep run.
They're not real deep roster.
No, and they're old. They're old, and they've got 3 or 4 skilled kids that can play for anybody. And in Class A ball, when you've got 3 or 4 guys that are really special, that's kind of all it takes sometimes.
Get it done.
And they would be the team that I would definitely. Obviously we've got our eye on them.
Obviously. Well, Coach Grider, I know you got a lot to do, buddy. I did have one other question for you. I'm a Coach T. Coach T sponsoring our show, by the way. I don't know if you knew that or not. He's sponsoring our show, and Roy told me to ask you something. I hope it don't make you mad. He want to know why you fired your bodyguard.
Now, I'm assuming you're talking about
Roy Dillard.
I'm gonna be honest now. I'm glad Coach T's sponsoring you, but I'm not a Coach T follower, so sometimes that stuff gets thrown out there, and I don't really know what people are talking about. But
I didn't either, but I promised him I would ask you.
I've heard enough of the legend about Roy Dillard that must be a pretty interesting character.
He is. I told him I'd ask you, so I did my job, Roy. I asked him. That's it. Well, Coach, we appreciate you, buddy. We appreciate you letting us come over here and be a part of this. It doesn't get any better. And Lee and I, we plan every year we're going to go to South Pittsburg.
Well, guys, thanks for coming and for supporting high school football. I mean, it's
this is one of the best atmospheres.
It'll be a lot of fun tonight.
Yes,
it's a pretty neat place, but tonight you'll kind of get a taste of what it's really all about. This will be high school football at its finest tonight.
That's why we're here.
Coach, go get them hydrated and try to stay as cool as you can here.
All right, guys. Thanks again for coming.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
All right, Coach Vic Grider. We appreciate Coach Grider every time we get over here. He's always a gracious host.
Sure is.
Lee, we appreciate them taking care of us over here.
Buddy, this is what high school football is all about.
This is why we do this, brother.
Right here.
We're not making any money at it, so it's a passion, and we love it. And it's guys like him, and he gets it, Lee. He gets it. I mean, he knows why we do this.
Man, we rolled up through town. What'd you see all over town?
Banners after banners.
South Pittsburg, every street light, all over. Protect this place. You know, it's awesome, man.
It's awesome. I love it. If I had a second home, Lee, it'd probably be around here.
Beautiful
coming
too
up here.
in this area.
Yeah, it is. It's great. All right, Lee, let's take our first commercial here. We got more great interviews for you guys. We'll be back with Eric Swenson, head coach at over at Huntington.
Oh, yeah.
Good squad over there. And then we've got a new guy, Sycamore head coach Justin Robison will be on with us there in the bottom part of the next segment, Lee. So good show lined up. And, of course, the Drunken Sailor will be on with us picking games.
Is he going to be sober?
Don't miss that. I don't know. He might be the only one if he is. I wasn't supposed to say that, was I? All right, Mike Motor, Lee T. This is a Friday main event, and we'll be back right after this. Hello, Friday Main Event fans. Mike Motor, your host here. Lee Teed and I are at South Pittsburg tonight, one of the oldest rivalries in the state of Tennessee. Marion County, the good folks from Jasper, headed over to South Pittsburg for a huge battle tonight. Should be a great football game. We'll get things started off first hour with coaches' interviews, as we always do. I've got Knoxville Catholic head coach Steve Matthews lined up for the first segment. Always enjoy talking to Coach Matthews. We'll talk about that state title. He is coming off our 2017. Next segment, we'll have your very own Vic Grider, Hall of Fame coach Vic Grider here at South Pittsburg. We'll have him on the set with us. Always enjoy talking to Coach Grider. Third segment, we'll have one of our long-standing regulars here on the Friday Main Event, Huntington head coach Eric Swenson joins us, and we'll talk about that Mustang squad off to a 3-0 start, looking really stout this year again as they did last year. And then we'll cap off the coaches segment of the show with first timer on the Friday Main Event. We'll have Sycamore head coach Justin Robison. I really look forward to that interview with Coach Robinson. So a lot of good interviews coming your way. When we get to picking games, we got a celebrity for you. We got the Drunken Sailor of Coach T fame, better known as Sean Dunwoody to family and friends, but we'll have him joining us. He is the play-by-play guy for South Pittsburg. I think hopefully he doesn't show Lee and I up too bad. Lee and I did okay last week, better than we've done in the first 2 weeks. So hopefully Sean doesn't show us up too bad picking games. But as always, Friday Main Event brought to you by CoachT.com. We appreciate everything Jim Thompson does for us with the Friday Main Event. You can always go to FridayMainEvent.com, catch the stream. If you don't remember how you got here, again, go to FridayMainEvent.com. There's a link to our YouTube channel there. You can also go to our our sponsor, Coach T, Jim Thompson. Go to his website at CoachT.com. Go to the scoreboard area every Friday. Top of the scoreboard, Coach T was good enough to put a link directly to this show. So, again, FridayMainEvent.com, one way to get to us, and perhaps an easier way for you Coach T regulars, just click on the scoreboard tab, and you'll find a link to us every Friday. Again, Mike Motor here, Friday Main Event. We hope you guys enjoy the show, and we'll see you again next week. All right, Lee Teet, we are back here Friday Main Event. We're over at South Pittsburg. I just hope we don't get killed before we get out of here. Don't put anything on it associates you with either one of these teams, okay?
That's exactly right. I want to be able to
stay
go home
neutral,
tonight.
baby.
Yeah, we're neutral.
Because I don't know who's going to be parked beside that Titan out there, so I'm not going to have anything on. Hopefully this black shirt's pretty neutral. Lee, we had a good show so far. We had Steve Matthews on with us, Knox Catholic head coach, and then, of course, the legend Vic Grider. Always enjoy Vic Grider. Just jumped on with us. Got another excellent coach, good friend of the show.
That's right.
Over in West Tennessee, we got Huntington head coach Eric Swenson on with us. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We couldn't be better, Coach, other than it being hot, man. Is it hot over there on your side?
Man, it's hot. This week of practice was, I think, it's the hottest of the whole year. I swear it was.
I was telling Lee, my back's sweating, man. We may have to relocate, get in the shade over here.
We're a little cool right now. We're not too hot right now.
There you go. Coach, another 3-0 start, including that impressive Week 2 victory over Waverly Central. I ain't going to tell you who I picked in that game. You might get mad at me. 105 total points scored, 63-42. The offense is averaging 57 points a game. Oddly enough, all the stats for that team, what jumped out at me the most of all your stat line, 6 punts. What in the heck are you guys? Are you guys punting on first down just to practice? What are we doing here?
Well, I don't know if I don't know. What are you talking? I don't even know. What
hey, Max Pram says that you guys have punted the ball 6 times already this year.
Oh yeah, well that's probably more times than we have, but we've had our spots. We played McKenzie, and I'm telling you, if we didn't bust an 80-yard touchdown, it was a punt. And so that's kind of been the story of our offense this year. We've not been able to grind the ball at all. It's all been big plays. It's been 70-yard run, 40-yard passes. So, yeah, I'd say you're right. That's a few more times.
Hey, man, I saw that. I said, these guys are averaging over 50. There's no freaking way they've punted the ball 6 times.
It don't make any sense. But all the plays that we've been getting are big plays, and that's been a big – I'll tell you, a lot of people like it, but, boy, to me, that presents a problem if you can't grind the football. But we've been lucky and busted some. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, we spoke about the Waverly game earlier, and Mike and I had Waverly picked to make it to Cookeville in, their division. Last year's Mr. Football winners, Gavin Stansfield, was very impressive when we saw him last year. How do you feel he stacks up against the other spread quarterbacks that you've seen in high school football?
He's the best I've seen in high school football. I mean, reminds me. To me, he's Dresser Wynn was more of a scrambler.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Dresser could still spin it.
Right,
but,
right.
Gavin's kind of in the same mold. Gavin can spin it, and he can scramble. And I just think that the way Waverly's offense is, if I were ever going to run the spread, which ain't going to happen, but if I ever were going to run the spread, that would be the style of offense that I run, the way I do it. It's just fast. I mean, there's a lot of screens. It's just dangerous, man. And they've got that. They've got the fit kids that can go get it. To me, he's the best I've seen. I'd put him right there with Dresser when Dresser was in high school.
That's pretty high praise.
That is.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, talking about quarterbacks, of course, you guys lose Cade Pearson to graduation. I think you've got Hunter Inslee lining up behind center now. How would you assess his performance so far this season?
I've been real impressed with Hunter. That was the big thing was, of course, replacing a 3-year student in Cade Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Football finalist, and Hunter really didn't get that many snaps at quarterback last year because he played tight end, receiver, and then he would turn around and play safety on defense. So he didn't get that many snaps because most of the time Cade would have the job finished by halftime or early in the third, and then you don't really put in any starters. You're bringing in JV guys,
right?
So Hunter didn't really, most of his freshman kids coming in, and Hunter didn't get that many snaps. But he did a lot of work in the summer. He had good 7-on-7s, and he's just a good athlete. He's got good speed, and to me, like a lot of times maybe in practice, it's not as smooth, but he's got game performance and game speed. Makes a difference in him.
We've got Huntington head coach Eric Swenson joining us on the phone now here on the Friday Main Event.
Well, Coach, not only has Inslee played well, but Daquan Robinson and Brandon Lawton are both averaging over 10 yards a carry for you. I guess the thing that has to excite you the most is all these major contributors are only juniors, and you get them back next year.
Yeah, we are fortunate in that respect. We don't have many skill guys. I mean, the ones we have are good. We don't have many of them. We don't have much depth there, but both of those guys are having a good year. We just kind of, we'll leave one in for a while, and when he gets tired, we'll roll the other one in, just try to keep fresh legs. especially this time of year.
Right.
And then, of course, our wing back, we have another Pearson kid, Cade's brother, Connor. And he's been playing wing and doing a great job. He runs the counter well. He also blocks excellent from his wing position.
Coach, you mentioned it when we was talking to you off camera here. You got Camden tonight, a real quality. They had a real quality win over a solid Lewis County team there in week 2. How did the Lions look when you was watching film on them this week?
They looked way better than what I wanted them to look. When I saw them against Waverly, Waverly wore them out pretty good.
Right.
And they didn't look like they've gone to running the same offense we run. They run the exact same offense.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the same way, do everything. And they were running. They didn't have guys in the right spot. So they made some changes. First off, they're huge. I mean, they are. There's a huge size. That's the thing about it, is the matchup of size does not favor us. I mean, it is they're very big, and they're physical. They get, I wouldn't say that they're as fast as we are, probably, but they're not slow. And
right.
Them biggest worry is them eating clock and maintaining drives. That's what they did to Lewis County. They just absolutely pounded them, and they held the ball for 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. And just ground them up, like a meat grinder.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big concern for us, and that's why I think it's going to be one heck of a football game.
Right.
Well, Coach Swenson, I think this year Region 6 as a whole may not be as strong as it's been in the past, with Wayne County, I think, potentially being in a rebuild mode with Coach Rice's team over there. What's your thoughts on the other Region 6 teams?
Well, of course, Wayne County. I did see them on film, and I thought they looked good. I saw them early in the year. I thought they quarterback looked really good. I can't really get a good take on them. Of course, Coach Rice always does a good job, so they'll be well coached.
Right.
They beat us more than we beat them, is all I know. And then
I thought that loss to Summertown kind of surprised me. That surprised you?
That surprised me too.
Yeah.
That surprised me too, because wasn't it like 28-8?
It was. I mean, definitely not what I thought.
It was a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think at one time I thought the score with Middleton was close, like maybe at the half. So, I know Wayne County, they'll get better and better as the year goes on, and I think Middleton's better. I know Collinwood. I saw them on film. I think Collinwood is much better. They look like they've got a couple of running backs that are going to be that played last year. They've gotten bigger and stronger. They got the big lineman. I can't remember his name, but he's a player. But overall, I would say our region is much the same as it was last year. But I think there's a couple of teams that were at the bottom that have gotten gradually maybe a little bit better.
Right. Mike Mulder and Lee T. speaking with Huntington head coach Eric Swenson. Coach, speaking of last season, you guys, I don't even think I've even talked to you since last year. You guys entered that quarterfinal game with Cornersville, 12-0, ranked number 1 in the state. You just shut out Moore County. We had you guys picked to go to Cookeville. I'm sure you felt like you had a team destined for Cookeville. How hard was it for the kids in the off season, knowing they probably should have been in that title game last year? How hard was it for those guys?
Well, I'm not going to lie. That was devastating. We did. We felt like we were going to represent. We didn't take anything for granted.
Yeah, we did too.
We didn't take anything for granted. We didn't go to Cornersville thinking, we're fixing to go down here. I knew when I saw the film it was going to be a good football game. And,
right.
But it's more unfortunate things happen. But it was. I would say that it was tough to get over. But kids tend to get over that stuff a lot quicker than what we do. They'll get over it on the bus ride home compared to, people like us. We know what the ramifications. We know you only get one shot at that deal. They feel like life goes on forever. So, they think they're going to have multiple shots at it. So it doesn't, I would say, though, during the off season that it did fuel the fire as far as their workouts, their attendance, the amount of work that they put in extra on their own. And, we've reminded them of that game many, many, many times, that all we have to do is relax just a little bit, and you'll be sitting at home.
Well, Coach, looking at it this year, man, that St. Cornersville team is dominating this year. Dresden had a big win over Lake County last week. I'm sure you're monitoring all this too. Hillcrest, Freedom Prep, squads out of Memphis could be tough. I think Bronson Bradley's bunch over at Mount Pleasant looks pretty good. Who do you think is probably going to be the biggest hurdle this year for you guys?
Well, of course, we wouldn't have to worry. I'd love to get to the semifinals and get to face Dresden and Lake County. That'd be fun. But I think, to me, it's still going to be Cornersville. That's who you're going to play. If you you got to get to the third round before you're really in the hunt. That's just the way it is. I don't know. I know Moore County was supposed to be better, and Cornersville just absolutely mashed them.
Yes, sir.
So I'm thinking, to me, for the biggest hump, not just for us, but for anybody that wants to get to Cookeville from this side, is going to be Cornersville.
Yes, sir.
I think with the number of returners they got, and all I see on it, is Woodard and is it Whitehead or whatever.
Yeah, Whitehead. Yep.
Still too, but they're like us. They just do what they do. They're not doing anything fancy.
Right.
They just play, and they've got a good group of guys that they've come up through the system, and they got a large number of seniors, and a lot of players returning back. And we'd like to play them again, and play them here. We would still have to go through, probably Moore County again, who's going to be better, and some other folks. So you never know what's going to happen over injuries and all that kind of stuff.
Well, Coach, I don't want to hold you up, brother. I know you got that Camden squad you need to go out there and take care of. Appreciate you jumping on with us, as always, and hopefully we can catch up with you again here pretty quick.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Coach Swenson, thank you, sir.
Good luck to you, buddy. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. See you.
All right. That's Coach Eric Swenson. Lee.
Dude, he's good.
He's a good dude, man. I really like him
a
lot.
Good coach.
Well, Lee, let's go ahead, man, and let's cut to a quick commercial break, and we'll go ahead and get Coach Justin Robison lined up. Mike Motor, Lee Teat, Friday Main Event. Hello, Friday Main Event fans. Mike Motor, your host here. Lee Teat and I are at South Pittsburg tonight, one of the oldest rivalries in the state of Tennessee. Marion County, the good folks from Jasper, headed over to South Pittsburg for a huge battle tonight. Should be a great football game. We'll get things started off first hour with coaches' interviews, as we always do. I've got Knoxville Catholic head coach Steve Matthews lined up for the first segment. Always enjoy talking to Coach Matthews. We'll talk about that state title. He is coming off our 2017. Next segment, we'll have your very own Vic Grider, Hall of Fame coach Vic Grider here at South Pittsburg. We'll have him on the set with us. Always enjoy talking to Coach Grider. Third segment, we'll have one of our long-standing regulars here on the Friday Main Event. Huntington head coach Eric Swenson joins us, and we'll talk about that Mustang squad off to a 3-0 start, looking really stout this year again as they did last year. And then we'll cap off the coaches segment of the show with first-timer on the Friday Main Event. We'll have Sycamore head coach Justin Robison. I really look forward to that interview with Coach Robinson. So a lot of good interviews coming your way. When we get to picking games, we got a celebrity for you. We got the drunken sailor of Coach T fame, better known as Sean Dunwoody to family and friends, but we'll have him joining us. He is the play-by-play guy for South Pittsburg. I think hopefully he doesn't show Lee and I up too bad. Lee and I did okay last week, better than we've done in the first 2 weeks. So hopefully Sean doesn't show us up too bad picking games. But as always, Friday Main Event brought to you by CoachT.com. We appreciate everything Jim Thompson does for us with the Friday Main Event. You can always go to FridayMainEvent.com, catch the stream. If you don't remember how you got here, again, go to FridayMainEvent.com. There's a link to our YouTube channel there. You can also go to our our sponsor, Coach T, Jim Thompson. Go to his website at CoachT.com. Go to the scoreboard area every Friday. Top of the scoreboard, Coach T was good enough to put a link directly to this show. So, again, FridayMainEvent.com, one way to get to us, and perhaps an easier way for you Coach T regulars, just click on the scoreboard tab, and you'll find a link to us every Friday. Again, Mike Motor here, Friday Main Event. We hope you guys enjoy the show, and we'll see you again next week. All right, back here on the Friday main event, Mike Mulder and Mr. Lee Teat, my partner over here. Lee, we are at South Pittsburg, baby. Is there any better place to be tonight of all nights?
Well, I can only think of one other rivalry game you talked about earlier, Maryville-Alcoa.
That's
going to be a big one.
That'd be a big one,
as far as atmosphere goes,
yeah.
This one's great.
You can't beat it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We had Vic Grider on with us a little bit earlier. Of course, we had Steve Matthews on with us first segment, and then Grider.
Swenson.
We just had Coach Swenson on. We got another good coach, a newbie to the Friday main event. We got Sycamore head coach Justin Robison on with us now. Coach, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good for having me, guys.
No problem, Coach. You born a Sycamore Eagle. You played there. I think you was assistant for 4 seasons prior to taking over the head coaching job there in 2016. How excited were you to get a shot? And I'd assume this is your dream job at such a young age.
Yeah, I was thrilled when I got the opportunity to step in and be named the head coach. I had actually been the interim coach a time or two before, and that was exciting. But it's a dream job for me to always come back and coach my alma mater and be in the town that I grew up in. It's definitely something that's very accomplishing to me.
Coach Lee Teat here. We look back on your glory years there at Sycamore as a player in that 2016 that fell to Pearl-Cohn in the quarterfinals. Probably one of the best teams the school's had in a number of years. How close is your program getting back to that level of play?
I think we're getting close. The kids have bought in extremely well to the program that we've instilled. We've seen tons of growth in the last 3 years. We think that we have a really good ball club this year. I'm not going to give any prediction of a quarterfinal team, a first-round team, or even a playoff team.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But we think that this team is pretty special. We're excited to see where they go. We got a big game tonight in a non-region opponent in Davidson Academy. They're going to test us tonight. They're obviously a really good ball team, but we're setting 1-0 in the region right now, and that was our goal, is to go undefeated in the region and win the region and be able to host a home playoff football game. I think that's only been done once here at Sycamore before, so that's our goal for the season, and we're still set up to do that right now.
Coach, junior, and I'm probably going to butcher this, Tyler Nibel. Did I say that correctly?
Nebel.
I knew I was going to mess that up. He's had an incredible season for you guys so far. Matter of fact, I think I saw in the paper today he's leading the state, 579 yards in only 3 games, 6 TDs. He's also listed at safety. He's got 16 tackles, 2 sacks. Were you expecting this kind of production out of Tyler entering the season?
This is one that I can say I absolutely expected it from him. I've said this to so many people, but if you watch that young man in the off season and seen how he conducted himself and the way he worked out and the way he prepared himself for this season, you knew that the sky was going to be the limit for him. He takes this game very seriously. He trains incredibly hard. He would work out with us and then go home and work out some more. That's how bad he wants it. So, this is something we expected from him. Did I expect him to be the leading rusher in the state? Not necessarily, but we got a lot of ball game left to play, and hopefully his line keeps performing well for him, and he keeps seeing the holes, and he keeps running hard. And I think that he has a shot at possibly being the leading rusher, single season holder here at Sycamore.
Mike Mulder and Lee Teat talking Sycamore football with head coach Justin Robison here on the Friday main event.
Well, Coach, they say defense wins championships, so you got to be happy with how your defense has played so far this year, only giving up 6 points a game.
Yeah, that's something that I've been fortunate enough to have here, really in the whole tenure at Sycamores. We've had some good defenses. Our kids, they love defense. I guess they're just kind of built to play defense here. We're trying to shift that that mindset to the offensive side of the ball, but man, our kids on defense, they get after it. My staff, they do an amazing job every week at preparing these kids. I would venture out to say they probably scout like nobody's business. They're probably some of the better scouting coaches in around here, and they make sure the kids are prepared every week with a great game plan.
That's really important. People don't realize how important that is.
Yeah, it is. My staff, I mean, they're amazing. We got 5 guys on staff this year, assistants, and that's the most we've had in a long time. So, and it's paying dividends. You can tell we're putting out a much better product this year. So, all the credit really goes to the staff, and then the kids going out there and just playing their tails off, really.
And I guess Tristan Hampton is probably one of the. I was kind of looking over those stats. Tristan Hampton, the linebackers, had a really great season for you guys so far.
Yeah, he was an All-State selection last year in both the Tennessee Football Coaches Association and the Tennessee Sports Writers Association. So, we expected big things out of him again this year. He's a preseason All-State selection from Murphy Fair. Mm-hmm. So he's right on pace to get a nod at that position again, hopefully. He anchors our defense at the linebacker position, but he's not the only cat over there that can play some ball and can chase the ball down and lay some licks on some people. So, but yeah, he's definitely a key attribute to our defense.
Well, Coach, Fairview, dominated Region 6 last year, winning 42 points a game inside the region. I think your win over Cheatham County last week put you guys in a position as a likely contender for that region title this year. Do you feel like you've closed the gap on the Yellow Jacket squad this year?
Well, we think that we do. We do. We lost a running back who actually went to Fairview, who was a Mr. Football candidate before last season. So, even last year we were feeling good preseason wise. But this year we've been able to stay relatively healthy and keep the parts in place, and we've been doing a good job at improving every week. So we think we're going to be able to challenge those guys. But don't forget about Camden. Camden is coming on strong again this year, and they're putting up a lot of points on some folks. So we got to deal with Fairview first, and then we'll worry about Camden. But, yeah, definitely Fairview is obviously the favorite, and for good reason. Coach Hughes does a good job over there at Fairview. But, yeah, this is a year that we think that we're going to be able to compete with them, and hopefully we win it.
Hey, we talked to Coach Swenson just last segment, and he was worried about that Camden squad. He said they looked really good.
Yeah, I could tell last year they were down a little bit, but you knew when you looked across there and you looked at their roster that it was a bunch of sophomores and juniors that next year you were going to have hell to pay whenever the next season came around.
That's right. We're speaking with Sycamore head coach Justin Robison here on the Friday Minute. Coach, you and I met up there in Cookeville last year. I think we actually spent a couple of nights talking football. Coach Wheeler's squad, they had a great shot to make a run again this year, but over at Covington, but, I'd say Pearl Cone is probably the team to beat over on the west side of the state, in 3A this year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I've not done much digging around other than just staying within our region.
Right,
Pearl Cone's always going to be a force to reckon with, but anybody out of Pearl Cone's region really is a stout program. They sure do have a whole lot of athletes in that region, and I don't know. Every week I kind of just check and say, okay, well, who's going to upset who this week? And really even, is it an upset? Just because they're all so pretty even keeled. But Pearl Cone for sure has a leg up on everybody over there. And they're just, Coach Burnetti's, they do a great job with those kids. Heard plenty of stories about Coach Burnetti and the things he does for that program and to help those kids out. So, He's figured out a way to make things work over there, and he's giving young men a shot at being successful in high school and post-high school.
I tell you, man, if I'm over in Region 6 with you guys, I really don't know where the heck I want to finish at. You look at that Region 5 with Pearl Cone, East Nashville knocks off Riverdale. They're solid. Stratford almost got Hillsboro, and then, O'Connor's Giles County team. Of course, you guys saw them last year. That's going to be a tough matchup no matter where you finish at in Region 6.
Yeah, it is. And, their team makeups are a little bit different than ours. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, it doesn't match up very well for us.
Right.
But, that's why you play the games. You never know what's going to happen on any given Friday night. And, it's not a favorable region to be matched up with, but it could always be worse.
That's right. Well, Coach Robinson, buddy, I know you got to get ready for a ball game. I appreciate you taking the time to jump on with us, and hopefully we can get you on again with us before the season's up.
All right, I appreciate it, Mike.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
See you, bud.
Yes, sir.
All right, Lee, first-timer, Coach Robinson. You one of them young guys, I think he's doing a real good job with that Sycamore squad. I didn't know him. He and I just run into each other up there and got to talking, and I said, well, I'm going to check this dude out, and pretty impressed.
Like you said, man, squaring off with Region 5 is tough.
Yeah.
Especially, like he said, the dynamics of Region 5 are a little bit different than Region 6. But defensively, if he can get through this season pretty healthy and get in there and he's playing good defense and he likes his staff, maybe they can get in there.
He's got a young team, too,
right.
so, who knows.
Hey,
You got to start somewhere, don't you? Rome
get...
wasn't built in a day, as they say, and
right.
I think he's got a good foundation for that program right now.
I think so.
He's doing a good job over there. Appreciate him jumping on with us. Lee, that is going to conclude our portion of the coaches' interviews for this Week 4 Friday main event, South Pittsburg. Right there, baby. That's where a lot of history's been made right behind us, Lee.
There's been a few NFL players on that field.
You're exactly right. Vic Grider was with us earlier talking about it, man. Really appreciate those guys having us over here this week. I'm still waiting on Roy Dillard to come over here and jump on the mic with us. I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
That's called down there again.
Ronnie's red eye.
Ronnie's red eye.
I actually got here a little early. I almost stopped in there and see if I could call him out, but I didn't do it. We may stop by there on the way back through and see if we can find Roy Dillard in there. A lot of South Pittsburg people. Coach T, of course, our main sponsor here on the Friday main event. A lot of Coach T folks over here. Always enjoy talking to those guys online. Hopefully we'll get a chance to meet. If you guys are watching the show now, Marion County, Jasper folks, South Pittsburg folks, come up and holler at us, man. That's why we're doing this. We enjoy meeting fans and talking football with you guys. So by all means, come by and holler at us. We're set up under the blue tent. If you're on the way to the field, we'll be here till 6:30 before we start tearing down. We got the drunken sailor fixing to jump on with us, Lee. Why don't we just go ahead and take our next break right here, and we'll get him mic'd up, and hopefully he don't make us look too bad picking games.
But it won't be hard.
It ain't real hard to do, is it?
Not me, anyway.
I hear you.
I did a little better last week.
Yeah, though. You did. You probably got me last week. So, but anyway, we'll get him on with us. This is the Friday main event. Mike Mulder and Lee Teat, and we'll be back after this. Lee, everybody now successfully has the Sycamore football schedule memorized as I scrolled it through there about 3 times. We was getting our buddy, the Drunken Sailor, a.k.a. Sean Dunwoody, on with us, the voice of I'm still at Trousdale County, man.
Well, these
South
guys
Pittsburgh
from Trousdale County have had some battles.
Yeah. We had Trousdale County's play-by-play guys on with us last week, so I'm living in the past, man.
Is Jerry still doing
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get that mute button
There
underneath.
There we go.
People have probably heard better things when I wasn't talking. Is Jerry still doing their games?
He is. He sure is.
He's a good guy.
36 years. 36 years.
Wow.
He's got a young Cameron Reed.
Yep.
Cameron Reed is doing the color for him now. Yeah. Cam's a big old boy.
Oh, yeah?
He's a big old boy. He made me look small. That's hard to do. So, Sean, we're going to pick games, and I'm going to go ahead and preface this that Lee and I are not very good at this. So, good,
I'll fit right in.
In all likelihood, you're going to make us look bad. That's usually what happens. But we enjoy doing it, and it's a lot of fun for us.
Well, I brought my cheat sheet.
Oh, so. Good. Well, we got notes here. You can look at our notes.
Right.
And you can use yours. Probably be better off to use yours. Would be my advice.
Well, yours has more writing, so I guess you probably did more work than I did.
Well, one of the big games, Sean, over in the mid-state is Blackman and Smyrna. And to be honest with you, man, these guys were in region together for years now. Smyrna, with the reclassification, moves over to Region 5. Blackman's still in Region 3 with all the other Rutherford County teams. This game right here is a really, really, I give you hard games. I guess you saw that in the notes. There's not an obvious favorite here. Smyrna's scary. I'm going to tell you, they did lose to CPA 48-26 last week, but they got a lot of talent over there. And I don't know. I think Alex Bannister may be the difference here tonight. What do you guys think? Lee?
Well, I definitely like Blake Watkins over at Smyrna.
Athlete.
A very good athlete.
All
And
right.
I like Coach Williams. I like what he does over there. I like how he coaches. But I think tonight, Mike, I think Blackman may have one or two too many athletes.
Really?
I do.
Wow.
I know it's at Smyrna.
Yeah, they're tough to beat there.
But I think Blackman probably has one or two too many athletes.
Sean, what's your take on this?
Well, you've obviously done a lot more work on this than I have, but I've got to say that I'm going to take the Blaze for one reason only. The Blackman Blaze is probably one of the top 2 names in all of sports. I mean, the Blackman, that's a great name, but no, I agree.
It is a great name, Blaze.
I think that Blackman will. It's going to be a good game, even though it's in Smyrna. I think Blackman pulls it out.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning toward you, and Lee's right. I mean, they got Michaelis Elder came over from Cleveland, which is not right down the road from you guys. He's having a phenomenal season, and then they had another transfer to Micah's Napier from McGavick, the one big Joe Dubin was mad about.
That's right.
Of course, that's his alma mater at McGavick, so he wasn't happy about that transfer. But they got a lot of talent, and then you can't forget they already had talent with Trey Knox, Lee.
Adonis Ote.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I just think this was the hardest game on the schedule for me to pick personally, but I'm going to go with Blackman just because I think they may have a little bit more athletic, athletes on that side of the ball. I think it's going to be real close. I think it's probably going to be like a 3-point game.
Well, I tell you what, if you're in Rutherford County tonight, go over there and check this ball game out, because on the field at any given moment, there's going to be 4 of the top 50 recruits in the state on the field.
There you go.
And there's a lot of games tonight. This would have been one of them, but there's a lot of games that you can basically flip a coin. This is one, but I'm like you guys, Blackman.
All right. So you got Smyrna though, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you went Smyrna.
No, I said Blackman by too many athletes.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. That's probably what I'd say too.
Yeah.
The next game on the schedule, guys, let me mute out my phone here. I heard it popping here. Nolensville and Summit. That's another tough game to call. Of course, preseason quarterback Brandon Wharton has not played, but Ryder Garland has come in his place, threw for 355 yards the last 2 weeks. Colton Dooley is just a phenomenal athlete, Lee. He's averaging over 100 yards a game for him rushing, and 41-6 over Spring Hill, a team that you and I had in our top 10 preseason. So this is a tough one to pick right here. What's your thoughts?
Well, I like Dooley. He's got 10 TDs in 3 ball games.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, that's put some production on the board, bud.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
And I heard Wharton. Did he commit this week?
No, he was already committed.
Already committed.
Yeah, he's already committed.
That's right. And Tim Stayscow. He's a really good ball player for Nolensville,
right.
Defensive side of the ball. He's a terror at linebacker. Very, very good. But our buddy Brian Coleman, he lost to Independence, which is a 6A squad.
Yeah.
Oh, man. 4A versus 5A, Mike. I like Nolensville.
You like Nolensville. What about you, Mr. Sean?
Well, Garland is doing good in place with Wharton, but I think and then Summit's going to take it. I think with Wharton out, like I said, Garland's done well, 355 yards last couple of games, but
right.
I think it's going to be Summit in the end.
Yeah, man, Summit's hard to beat at home. But Independence has not played well, Lee, and they did beat Summit.
That's right.
So
Indy's kind of been they've had
and it seems like Paul Derrick. Yeah, Paul Derrick's done a heck of a job there. Their only loss was to Page. You took Nolensville, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
I think I'm gonna go with you. I may regret that, but I'm gonna go with them. That's a tough one to pick. You may get us on this one, brother.
I don't know.
That's a tough pick there. This game right here is another interesting game. This is Region 4 in Hendersonville in 6A versus Beach, which is 5A in Region 6. These two guys were region rivals for years, Lee. Reclassification, Hendersonville moves up. The Commandos, led by James Beasley, first year there, and they just kicked Centennial's rear end 2 weeks ago. So, and then they beat Station Camp 40-14 last week. Of course, they lost to Blackman, led that game led that game, I think, through the first half. Beach, Andy Crabtree got a lot of new faces in new places.
He does.
How you see this one?
You talking to me?
Whoever wants to go, jump in there.
I'll take it. Well, looking at this game this week, Hendersonville lost to probably one of the top 3 or 4 6A squads in the state in Blackman.
What Sean's saying.
And I think that people might have looked at that score or that loss and said, well, Hendersonville's been boat racing everybody, and they beat a really good Centennial team.
Yeah.
Really good Centennial team. And what I like about Hendersonville is they got 9 returning starters on defense.
Right.
But I like Coach Crabtree in his running game.
He's a gamer, isn't he?
He's a gamer, and he lost to a really good 5A squad in Henry County.
Right.
But I'm going to take Hendersonville tonight, and I think it's going to be obviously a ground battle. Both these guys like to run the football and run it some more. I like Hendersonville to pull away late, real late.
Well, I think I'm agreeing with you on Hendersonville. Beach has got more experience in the coaching staff, obviously, but I think Hendersonville's got too much. I believe Hendersonville's got I know Hendersonville's got a lot more returning players from last year.
Right.
That experience. Of course, now you're going in the third, fourth game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You're growing up as a team. Beach is, but I think Hendersonville's going to be too much in the end.
Well, crap. I was going Commandos too, but I'm almost inclined to go away from you guys just to kind of break up the tiebreaker here.
Well, hey, this is a.
I'm not going to let you influence my pick, Lee T.
No.
I'm not going to do it this week because you did get better last week. So going against Lee T ain't going to be an automatic win anymore.
Well,
you step your game up there, brother.
I got a little better, just a little.
I'm going heck with it. I'm going Commandos also.
There's no love lost between these two.
There's not.
Both of them Sumner County teams,
And
right? Each other.
Beach is hard. Heck with it. I just talked myself into it. Buccaneers. Book it, baby.
You want to change again?
I'm going to Beach. Yep, I am. Another big game, Lee, and this game last year probably shocked me as much as last week shocked me as much as any. Gallatin beats Hillsboro 26-18, and I thought Hillsboro was going to be a contender for a title this year.
Well,
I had them like top 5, man, and they were 1-2 now. I mean, I'm sorry, 1-2. So I don't know. This game here's got me confused now. Mount Juliet had a very close game with Lebanon last week, 14-10. Trey Perry switched to the wing T this year. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, they're running the wing T now, and I think they had like 5 turnovers against Lebanon. I didn't get a chance to go back and watch that game. Had a lot of turnovers, man. Who do you like between the Golden Bears and the Green Wave, Lee T?
I like Mount Juliet to get it done. That 14-10 score against Lebanon. Lebanon can match up defensively, especially in Region 6A. I think Lebanon can match up defensively with anybody. They're just having a hard time with production.
Region 4.
I'm sorry, Region 4, 6A.
Right.
But, it's at Gallatin. I just don't think this Gallatin team is I don't think they're as good as they've been in the past. The story years of Gallatin. I like Mount Juliet to go on the road and get this ball game. Pretty tight ball game, maybe one score.
I was leaning hard towards Gallatin myself, but especially looking at last week, Mount Juliet had a few plays that probably could have, the interception and things like you go anymore there. But I think, like you said, Lebanon, pretty good team. They hung tough, beat them. I'm going to go with Mount Juliet as well. Now,
Gallatin's 2 kickers had 4 field goals in that win last week, 26-18. They actually wound up being the difference in the game. They got one kicker apparently, the junior, I guess Trace Kelly, a little bit longer leg. He kicked the longer field goals at 37-42. If this game is close, Lee, don't you like the team with the kickers?
Yes. I
do. That's kind of why I'm kind of hung up on this one, man, because I still think Hillsboro's a good ball team.
I do too. Do you think? Well, I guarantee you this week though, Coach Perry, they probably dumped every ball they had in a bucket of water because they had 9 fumbles last week.
That's crazy.
5 of them, Lebanon recovered.
How much has that contributed to running that wing T now?
Well, does that contribute to
going
that
from
14?
a spread to a wing tee? You know.
Did Lebanon force those turnovers, or were they just bobbled balls? That
Right.
could have contributed to a 14-10 score. So I think maybe Mountain View's a little better than.
Got all that straightened out, right?
I think Trey got it straight this week.
Yeah, anytime you switch offenses, it takes you a little while to get used to it. But if
week 4, like you said.
Week 4, by now you should be getting your feet under you. You should be able to get some of those kinks worked out.
Well, Gallatin had a good squad last year. They finished 7-4, and this same Mount Juliet team beat them 37-0 last year. Is Gallatin improved that much? Has Mount Juliet dropped off that much? I don't think so.
No, I don't.
I'm going to go with the Bears in this one.
Hey, Reggie Grimes, he's an athlete.
He's a ball player,
yes,
isn't
sir.
he? Yeah. Waverly Central and Fairview, man, I hope they got a third digit on that scoreboard because there's going to be a lot of points in this one. Matt McConnell's done a heck of a job there in his 4 years, 40-9 at Waverly Central. And the reason for that, he's had Gavin Stanfield for 3 years of that, leading that offense. And, I don't know, Lee. Fairview with Lusk, he's a playmaker, man. He's got like 10 TDs already. He converted over from quarterback, give way to Brock Harris, who transferred in. He's leading that offense now. And I saw today in the stats in the newspaper, he's among the leaders in the state in passing. So Fairview is pretty tough out right there. How do you see this one going?
2 spread teams going at it. Like you said, I bet there's over 100 total points.
Yeah, I bet there is too.
Coach Hughes knows how to throw it around. He proved that in his flag football this summer.
You knew about that, didn't you?
No, I did not hear this one.
Coach
Hughes is 52.
52 years old, I think.
And he was in the finals in the national flag football
championship.
Wow.
They played.
Oh, it was the one that was on ESPN?
Yeah.
He was the quarterback on the runner-up team.
Yeah, he was the quarterback.
Yeah, so he knows how to wing it around, and I think like I said, I think you'll see a lot of points on the board, man. But that's just hard for me to pick against Stanfield.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
He's a good one.
What do you think, Sean?
I'm going to go with this one, Waverly. You look at the fact they put up 42 points on Huntington. Huntington, a couple weeks ago, good team. I thought they were going to make it to the state last year. Got a good chance of making it this year, even though it's a classification down. They still lost the game, but putting up 42 points, that says a lot. I'm going to Waverly. You
like Waverly? Lee, did you make a pick?
I'm going to go Waverly in a tight one, but I may miss on this because Fairview lost to a really good Page squad.
That's true.
Yeah, they did. Fairview seems to have everything clicking now, and they are at home.
That's true.
Waverly, too, coming off that bye, you don't know. Sometimes you've got the 2 weeks to prepare, which is help, but also some teams, they might have a little bit of rust, even with just 1 week off. They
rather play it through.
Quite so sharp.
Yeah. Waverly won this game 50-49 last year, so these teams obviously match up real well against each other, Lee, and I think this is a typical coin toss right here. Just for the sake of being different, I'll go Fairview because, honestly, I really don't have a good, firm feel either way on this one, to be honest with you. I'll go Fairview. What the heck? Yellow Jackets. Hillsboro and Independence. This is 2 teams in desperate need of a win. They're both 1-2, 0-1 in region play. I think if you go here in Region 6, you go down 0-2, Lee, this early, as competitive as this region is, you're going to be an uphill battle the rest of the season. So these teams, you're going to get the best effort, I think, out of both of them. Hillsboro lost to Gallatin, as we mentioned, 26-18. Independence fell to Centennial 62-40. 62-40.
I did not
over
see
100
that.
Points in that game.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either, man.
Maybe the other way.
Well, we said we felt that Matt Kreisky's team was not a good matchup for Hendersonville. Remember?
Yes.
Because Hendersonville beat them 2 years in a row up by 30 points. And so that's what Lee and I were saying last week. Is Centennial really that bad, or is that just a bad matchup? Obviously, it's a bad matchup. Who you like this one, Sean?
A tough one. I mean, I want to lean towards Independence. They lost to Oakland, lost to Summit. Oakland, obviously one of the top teams in the state. Yeah. But Hillsboro, for some reason, is sticking out to me. I don't know what it is, but this is at Independence, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is.
Makes it even tougher.
It is tough.
It's at Independence.
I don't make them easy, brother. Anybody can make them easy games.
I might be a donkey for picking them, but I'm going to go with the Burros.
Yeah, you might be. I like that analogy. That's good. What about it, Lee? Did you make a pick?
Do I have to?
We potentially may not have any. Well, actually, I went opposite of y'all. One of us is going to be right on.
I tell you what, man. I think tonight, if Coach Fitzgerald has been watching the Centennial and the Oakland game, he knows that if you can get pressure on Cisco, offensive line, I think for Indy might be the weakness this year of their squad. I think they're giving up. Cisco's getting hit a lot anyway.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see Coach Fitzgerald about blitz on every play, and I think it's going to be up to Independence's tailback tonight to get it done.
I think I'm going kind of opposite of what you're saying. I think Independence's trouble this season has been on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they're scoring points other than obvious Oakland. They're scoring points. They can't stop anybody. So, Hillsborough is not putting a lot of points up. They haven't scored a lot of points this year. Does that kind of play into a bad Independence defense? The fact that Hillsborough hadn't shown the knack to score the ball.
I'm going with the Indy.
Talked you into it, huh? All right, I'm going to go Hillsborough.
I'm going Independence. I like Coach Blade.
I like him, too. I never said I didn't like him.
Yeah, he's a good coach. Fitzgerald, he's had the history. When he was winning those state championships, he also had one of the biggest players in the state of Tennessee on his team as well.
He did. Well, I'm going to tell you, Sean, the reason why I'm going Hillsborough, and I don't really have a feel either way, but Lee and I had Hillsborough in our top 5 in our Class 5A. We thought they were going to be really good. Of course, they're matched up against the 6A squad tonight, but I got to believe I'm not a total idiot. I got to assume I'm going to hit that sooner or later. No comment.
I'm going with Indy.
That's way to back me up there, Lee. Appreciate that, buddy. Paige, hey, you let us know when you need to go, man.
Okay,
we don't want to run you late. Paige and Ravenwood, Lee. Paige, man, good gracious, what a job Charles Rathbone has done. Lost Big Bubba Johnson in the preseason. Transferred to Spring Hill. We're thinking, man, that dude is going to suffer. He's going to hurt this year. But he's latched on a really special ball player in Cade Walker.
Yes, he has. We said it before. I think when I saw Cade over there in that jamboree that night with a lot of the Rutherford County and Williamson County teams squaring off, he throws about one of the best balls that I've seen, especially out of a junior. First time.
Reminded me of Bacchus of Giles County last year.
This was his first time really just taking the helm. He split time last year. I thought he was excellent. Looked excellent in that. And then losing Bubba, I was like, well, Coach Rathbone, boy, here he goes.
What a coaching job, right?
What a coaching job.
Yep.
But.
Got his hands full tonight,
He's got his hands full tonight. Ravenwood struggled, I think, a little bit maybe with Franklin.
They've had to come from behind in all three games.
All 3 ball games. I'm going to stay with the Raptors tonight, but I'm going to stay close. I like Ravenwood in a close ball game because I like Garcia, and I think Anthony Holmes and Jordan Smith maybe a little too much for Paige.
I need to start rotating you guys. You stealing all of his thunder. He was probably fixing to say everything you just said.
Yeah, I was going to say every bit of that. No, Paige, the quarterback played well last week. Ravenwood, surprised to see them trailing in every game this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't think they're going to do it tonight, though. I don't think they're going to trail now. I think they're going to. Well, they may trail at some point, but it's not going to be late in the game like that. I think. Also, I was talking about the Blackman Blaze, cool name. The Ravenwood Raptors may have a better one, and I'm going with the Raptors.
That's cool. That's cool. Dang, he's picking by names. He's probably going to beat us. That's the sad part about it. I like you. I like the Raptors, too. I'm going to go with that also. I think Garcia is a really good quarterback. See, they lost the only game they lost regular season last year. Garcia didn't start as a sophomore. They lost Centennial week 1. He came in week 2 and run the table all the way up to quarterfinals, I think. He finds a way to win. That's what good quarterbacks do. So I think I agree with Lee and you, Sean. They're not going to be trailing every game they play. They're eventually going to get it together, and I think they get it together tonight. I think they win. I think it's a close game, though. Paige has played well.
Yes,
and when you got a kid like Cade Walker, you got the ability to come back, too. I'll tell you what. I think if Ravenwood is trailing late in this one, Paige seals the deal.
I agree with that.
I bet they don't come back on Paige.
I would agree.
Hey,
with
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yes,
That's
sir.
good point. But you know, as a defensive coordinator, former defensive coordinator, you hate to see as a head coach your team trailing at any point like that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, fellas. Giles County, Lincoln County. This is a big rivalry game. Although it is a 3A versus a 5A, these schools have played each other for a long time. A lot of history between the two programs. Lee, I think David O'Connor's team can score with anybody, but I don't know about their defense, man. They give up 55 points to Pearl Cone. I know Pearl Cone's got a lot of talent over there, but dadgum, that's a lot of points to give up.
Well, these two teams got a common opponent in Lawrence County. Both of them beat them, so I don't know how you gauge them really right now, but, we spoke earlier in our preseason show, the 5A show, about Tim Johnson being an excellent hire for Lincoln County.
Yeah.
Those folks over at Lincoln County got to be happy right now. They're sitting at 2-0, 1-0 in the region, and beat Columbia last week.
Big win.
That's a big win, man. I think I even texted you maybe that was a big win for Lincoln County.
Yep.
Bryce Wallace might be the difference in the ball game tonight, though.
Very well could be. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Giles on the road.
I'm doing the same. I think Giles is going to get it done. I know it's a 3A going against a 5A, but you're talking to a guy that's from a small school that plays larger schools all the time. It doesn't always matter what classification you're in.
That's
I think
true.
Giles County makes it happen.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think David O'Connor, of course, he won a title there at Giles County back in, I think it was 2009, I want to say.
Right, with Bo.
With Bo Wallace. He's got the younger brother Bryce. I don't know that they're going to compete with a Covington or even a Pearl Cone, in the postseason, but I like the matchup tonight, and I like them to take the Falcons down. I'll go with you fellas on that one. Tullahoma and Franklin County, these two schools about maybe 10 miles apart, 15 miles apart, pretty close. Winchester and Tullahoma. Mac McCurry, Lee, I really like Coach Mac. Of course, you're familiar with him. He was up here.
We've seen him a few times.
Yeah, up here at Marion County. I imagine you know all about him.
Yes.
Tullahoma's John Olive, a class act, 26th year there as head coach for the Wildcats, and they had a big upset last week, Lee, knocking Marshall County off.
Man, that was huge. That was the one I texted you about.
Yeah.
Tullahoma. That was a huge win. And
missed extra point.
Man, hey, shout out to Coach Olive. His defense, I think, is playing exceptional this year, playing a lot better.
Right.
A lot better. They lost to Shelbyville, which, Justin Palmer, man, he wings that ball around. But then they turned right around and beat Marshall County, and Shelbyville beat Marshall County.
Yeah.
So that was kind of odd to me. I don't know, Mike. I tell you what, man.
This might be the hardest week we've had.
Well, thanks for bringing me on.
Hey, no problem, brother.
I think it's tough, too. I mean, just look at the coaches alone.
Yeah.
You've got over 400 wins between the two guys.
Right.
These guys obviously know what they're doing. They know how to build programs. Mac's been around a lot of different places. But, I don't know. I'm going with, even though it's on the road, I'm going with Tullahoma.
Is it just because he was at Marion County?
I think that's got a lot to do with it. anything
At least he's honest
in the past,
Right.
No, but I don't know. I think Tullahoma pulls it out tonight. That's not to count out the Rebels, though. I mean, Franklin County's got a good squad going over there.
They're young, I think.
I'm going to go with Tullahoma, and you know why? Burks. Kobe Burks.
Yeah.
He's the difference maker in this ball game.
And I tell you, Ben Fulton's in his first year there at starter, Lee, and he had 2 interceptions there in the first week against Shelbyville. He hasn't had any more turnovers. I think he's developing there well at the quarterback spot. And John Olive runs the type of offense where you don't have to win as a quarterback. You just got to not beat them. You know what I'm saying? Just don't make mistakes. Take care of the ball. Get the ball into Bryson Corn's hands. Get the ball to Marion. Get the ball to Burks. And then that's what he's doing. He's doing a real good job of being a field manager. And I think John Olive is very happy with the job that Ben Fulton's doing there at quarterback. Franklin County also has Nayland Jeans at quarterback. Now, Jeans is 39 of 71, 6 TDs, 3 interceptions, 549 yards. he's just a sophomore, Lee. He's going to be a good one, I think.
I think so, too.
But I think Franklin County's young guys, and I think Tullahoma probably got a few more seniors in place in key spots. I like the Wildcats to go on the road and get the win here.
Hey, Tullahoma gets a special team score tonight, touchdown.
Special team score by Burks, right?
Punt return or kickoff return.
That's very possible. I'm going to let Sean lead this one here off because we haven't let him do that.
Oh, you're doing a fine job.
We're giving you an easy one.
Yeah. Well, Mount Pleasant and Fayetteville. We saw Fayetteville down here a few years ago in the playoffs. They had some work to do then, but it looks like they've got it. Some of that worked out. 6-5 last year is a little bit better than they'd done then. Yeah. Mount Pleasant's one of those teams that you always in 1A you hear their name over in the western side of the bracket.
You probably remember Marco Daly, I believe.
Remember Marco Daly well. Yeah. Great player, but Mount Pleasant, I think, is going to be the one that takes this one home. I think they're too experienced. I think they've got. I think they just got too much for Fayetteville.
I agree with you. I think Zashawn, am I saying that right, Lee?
Yeah, Zashawn Alderson.
Yeah, 400 yards, 4 TDs in his first 3 games. Hayden Lovely has thrown for 5 TDs without an interception. That's a good quality to have for a quarterback. Take care of the ball. I think Bronson Bradley was an excellent hire for that program, Lee. He's done a phenomenal job. Only 7-3 team that I'm aware of that missed the playoffs last year.
Yeah, which is crazy when you have teams that have losing records get in. You have a 7-3 team that's sitting at home. That's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense at all. But I think he's done a really good job over there. We need to get him on. We haven't got him on yet. I need to give him a call. Alvin Palmer's in his last year coaching. He's retiring at the end of the year. He told us that last year.
He's been around a few years. I think, as a matter of fact, when they came down here, it was his first year of coaching.
Probably
as the head coach for them.
I think he's the only one they've had. I believe he took the program when they started it.
Yep.
I think that's correct. 6 years now. That sounds about right. Time frame. But they've struggled. 34-15, Huntland knocked them off last week. Of course, they lost a really good Knowles team. Forrest blew them out. Remember that, Lee? I think that was like 56-0.
Crazy.
So I think the Tigers advanced to 4-0, and Bronson Bradley's team's sitting good.
Well, the Tigers are going to win, that's for sure, in this game.
Guys, let's take it. Here you go. Let's take a real quick break here, and we'll come back after the break. More Friday main event, picking big games. Mike Motor, Lee T. Sean Dunwoody here with us. We'll see you after this. Hello, Friday main event fans. Mike Motor, your host here. Lee Teed and I are at South Pittsburg tonight, one of the oldest rivalries in the state of Tennessee. Marion County, the good folks from Jasper, headed over to South Pittsburg for a huge battle tonight. Should be a great football game. We'll get things started off first hour with coaches' interviews, as we always do. I've got Knoxville Catholic head coach Steve Matthews lined up for the first segment. Always enjoy talking to Coach Matthews. We'll talk about that state title. He is coming off our 2017. Next segment, we'll have your very own Vic Grider, Hall of Fame coach Vic Grider here at South Pittsburg. We'll have him on the set with us. Always enjoy talking to Coach Grider. Third segment, we'll have one of our long-standing regulars here on the Friday main event. Huntington head coach Eric Swenson joins us, and we'll talk about that Mustang squad off to a 3-0 start, looking really stout this year again as they did last year. And then we'll cap off the coaches segment of the show with first timer on the Friday main event. We'll have Sycamore head coach Justin Robison. I really look forward to that interview with Coach Robinson. So a lot of good interviews coming your way. When we get to picking games, we got a celebrity for you. We got the drunken sailor of Coach T fame, better known as Sean Dunwoody to family and friends, but we'll have him joining us. He is the play-by-play guy for South Pittsburg. I think hopefully he doesn't show Lee and I up too bad. Lee and I did okay last week, better than we've done in the first 2 weeks. So hopefully Sean doesn't show us up too bad picking games. But as always, Friday main event brought to you by CoachT.com. We appreciate everything Jim Thompson does for us with the Friday main event. You can always go to FridayMainEvent.com, catch the stream. If you don't remember how you got here, again, go to FridayMainEvent.com. There's a link to our YouTube channel there. You can also go to our host our sponsor, Coach T, Jim Thompson. Go to his website at CoachT.com. Go to the scoreboard area every Friday. Top of the scoreboard, Coach T was good enough to put a link directly to this show. So, again, FridayMainEvent.com, one way to get to us, and perhaps an easier way for you Coach T regulars, just click on the scoreboard tab, and you'll find a link to us every Friday. Again, Mike Motor here, Friday Main Event. We hope you guys enjoy the show, and we'll see you again next week.
I think I got it set up.
All right, back here, Friday Main Event. We are coming to you from South Pittsburg. Mike Motor, Lee Teach, Sean Dunwoody here. We are picking big games, and I think Sean's probably going to lap us on this, Lee. What do you think?
Maybe.
I wouldn't go that far.
You're not conceding yet?
I ain't conceding yet.
Yeah, there you go. Fellas, we've got 10 in the books. We got several more to go. Another one, Lee, I think will be a good contest. Region 5, Class 2A, Lewis County and Eagleville. Both of these teams 1-0. Lewis County knocks off Loretta 49-19 last week. They did lose to Camden, team we were talking about earlier. And then, of course, Eagleville 14-13 winner over Forest to get their first region win. They're also 2-1 on the year. Ethan Cobb, we saw him last year, Lee. He hadn't put up big numbers this year, but, he lost his main receiver. I think he's having trouble finding a favorite target again, this year.
I would agree with you on that. And I tell you what, tonight, Mike, I like Lewis County in this ball game. They lost to a real tough Camden squad.
Right.
And Coach Sharp, there's a few wing T guys around the state. And Bobby Sharp knows how to run it.
Yeah.
And or he wouldn't have 245 wins in 30 years. I like Lewis County tonight to go to Eagleville because I think Eagleville struggled against Forest.
Right.
And I don't.
You kind of said that like you think Forest isn't any good. Is that what you was implying?
No, I'm not implying they're not.
That's what we read into it.
Well, okay.
That's what it sounded like, wasn't it?
I don't think Forest is a upper echelon team right now.
Not as good as they were last year.
No. And
I'd agree
Eagleville
with
struggled with them a little bit, so I'm gonna go with Lewis County tonight. I'm gonna go with 2 scores.
Wow.
10 point.
Wow. Sean, how do you
I'm
see
not
this
going
game?
to put a point on it, but I think I'm with you. I think Lewis County gets it. I was leaning towards Eagleville at home, but it's like you said, I think that Lewis County's got the better the better quality win.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on that. Both teams have got a lot of kids back, I want to go with Eagleville, Lee. I want to.
Well, Eagleville beat Huntland, though, and Huntland, we were just talking about, they beat Spring Hill.
Fayetteville. They beat Fayetteville.
I mean, pretty handily.
Yeah.
I like Lewis County, though. I like Bobby Sharp and the wing team
Well,
tonight.
Runyons has 196 yards. Junior Christian Nash has 210 yards for this wing T Lewis County team. Avery Sparks, the DB for Eagleville, Lee. You got to keep an eye on that kid. He had 11 tackles, blocked the extra point, which wound up being the winner for that team. So he's a good ball player, but I got to go with you guys on this, and I think the Panthers. Eagleville has struggled somewhat, and I don't know. We had Eagleville. I believe we had them in our top 10. If we didn't, we had them right outside our top 10.
Right outside of it.
But when they got just blasted by Cornersville, I kind of chilled on them a little bit,
Well, Cornersville has been blasting everybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's not necessarily a good measuring stick there. The game.
Yeah, I'm out of this one. I'm not picking this one.
The game besides y'all's game in the state, I think most people would agree, Lee.
Without a doubt.
The Tornadoes and the Rebels. Alcoa. This is affectionately known as the Battle of Pistol Creek. So really, I don't really know. You may know. What's the longer rivalry? You guys in Marion or this one?
I think it's this one here. I'm not positive how long they've been playing. I know we've been playing since 24.
Wow.
I'm not sure just when they started, but it's when you look at, if I wasn't at this game,
yeah,
I'd be going to that game.
I hear you. What's your favorite rivalry game? We asked Vic that. Out of all of them you've seen out here with Marion.
The best one that between these two teams. My favorite ending was 2 years ago when we hit a pass with 12 seconds to go to take the lead to win the game. But the best overall game from start to finish. You know it's a good game when you say you lost it.
Yeah.
1994, both teams went on to win the state. It was the only loss that South Pittsburg had that year. It's the first game of the season.
Okay.
Eric Westmoreland intercepted the pass, took it for a touchdown, and that was the only score of the game. We lost 6-0. That was my favorite game I think I've seen in high school football ever.
How old was you?
I was right at 21.
21?
I was 21.
Okay. Wow. Well, Vic,
I'm a lot older than I look.
You are. I thought you was a lot younger than that. Of course, I'm comparing you to Lee, so. Oh, thank you. Tell them who's connection you're on. I'm not. But I'll mention you guys. No, I couldn't. I didn't know if it was a password on or not. Tell them. Who are you guys?
SVE Connect.
SVE Connect. They've got the free Wi-Fi out here tonight, right?
Fiber to the home, the only gig in town.
The only gig in town. Fiber to the home. SVE Connect. Sorry about that, partner.
Yeah, Squatchy. That's who I just pulled up on mine too. The Squatchy.
Hey, he's on with you. He's on with you.
Yeah, the co-op there right across the street here. Good people work there.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry, but I felt kind of awful there, man. I didn't know. He told us we could get on with him, and Lee and I have had so many miscues the last 3 weeks. It was like, we know ours is working. We'll stay with it. But, no, not that we don't think we'd have faith in it. Anyway, all right, back to football. You're not picking this one for real?
I'm going to pick it. It's going to be tough, though. I thought coming into this season this was going to be Alcoa's year.
Me too.
The Tornadoes, obviously it's hard to go against Gary Rankin in any game except for one against Maryville.
Right.
Maryville with a new coach coming in this year. The only reason I am leaning towards Maryville in this one is that game against Oakland earlier in the season. When they beat Oakland, quite possibly the best team, one of the best teams in the state without a doubt, quite possibly the best.
Right.
That's the only reason I am leaning towards Maryville tonight.
And they're at home.
Right.
Lee, how do you see this one playing out?
Buddy, it's at Maryville, and that is a tough place to get a win.
Yep.
I mean, it's almost impossible to beat Maryville at Maryville.
Right.
It is. The only, 1 year that Gary beat Coach Rankin, beat Maryville, he didn't throw a pass that ball game. I don't think he throws a pass tonight. I think he is going to try to grind it out and beat them about 28-24 kind of ball game is what he's looking for.
Right.
I think he's just going to try to grind because he's got some really good tailbacks. Kevon Tyson is the real deal.
Right.
But can he match up with Maryville? T. Hodge. T. Hodge run all over.
You tell us, buddy.
This is a toughie, buddy.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I'm
not going to make it easy on you.
Well, no, you shouldn't. Oh, man. Maryville by 3.
Maryville by 3. You got Maryville?
I've got Maryville.
I'll go Tornadoes.
Now, I will say I'm going to win this either way because I did pick Maryville here, but in my Coach T Big One's pick, I picked Alcoa.
Did you? Okay. I think I picked Alcoa too in mine. Yeah. But I'm with you, man. This can go either way. It always can go either way.
28-24 last year, though.
Maryville kind of dominated there for a pretty good run, 4 or 5 years. But, yeah, it was close last year. I agree with you. They go like 5 deep at running back at Alcoa. And I think Derek Hunt's a good enough coach. He's going to make them throw the ball. I know you don't agree with that, but
well, he's going to have to.
He's going to have to. That's exactly right.
Yeah, he may.
If Alcoa does not have to throw a pass, they will 100% win this game.
That's right. I think you might see 8 guys in the box.
Yeah, I think you will.
Make them throw it.
Yes, sir. I think so. I think if Alcoa, like you said, doesn't throw a pass, they'll win this game.
Yeah.
All right, Lee. So I'm going Tornadoes. Centennial Cane Ridge. Centennial, man, another team. Who's going to show up? The one that played Hendersonville or the one that played Independence? Lee?
I tell you what, if I'm over there around Metro tonight, Nashville area, I'd go see this game.
Yeah.
Because this is a battle of 2 extremely good tailbacks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard or know anything about Devon Starling?
Not a lot.
Stud.
Dude, this kid from Cane Ridge is the real deal. He's got every quality that you could ask for in a Division I athlete. He blocks well out of the backfield. He catches the ball well. He runs good routes, and he's got an extra gear, and he can pound it up in there.
And Lee, I'm fixing to trump you on this one. He isn't the best running back on that team by a lot, because the kid that came in, Jaquez Norman from Milan, is a stud as well. He's averaged, I think those guys have combined for 271 yards. Jarrell Wilson at Centennial, you mentioned him, 276 yards. He scored 4 TDs. But I like Starling too, don't get me wrong. But I'm just telling you, Norman is equally talented.
I think he's as talented. I just don't know about his ability all the way around.
Well,
runner, yes.
Yeah, and he's good on defense.
Defensive side.
Yeah, remember, yeah, he was. They had him lined up, I think, outside linebacker. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And man, he can get to the
it.
ball, man. So his future probably at the next level is going to be on the defensive side.
I think so.
I think so.
Man, Mike, I like Cane Ridge at home in a tight
tight
ball game. But I tell you what, Jarrell Wilson, buddy, he's
going to get his.
He's going to get his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Cane Ridge as well. They've got more starters coming back from a better season.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't always mean anything, but I think tonight Cane Ridge does, and I think they're one of the top 20 teams in the state.
I do too.
I agree with that.
Eddie Woods, he's a favorite of ours. We have him on a lot with us, but he's an excellent coach. So, and not that Matt Kreisky isn't. Matt Kreisky's a good coach, but one of those young coaches. He's got a twin brother that coaches at Riverdale.
Oh, really?
Both of them are really good coaches. So.
Well, yeah, but if you coach at Riverdale, you can't be that great, right? I mean, they've not had too many winning seasons.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I'm going Cane Ridge. I'm going to go with you guys on that one. Here's one over here that you might be a little more familiar with. Meigs County, Sequatchie County. Mark Wattenbarger, when he was at Stone Memorial, Lee and I had him on with us a couple of times. We always enjoy having Coach Wattenbarger on with us. They played you guys week 1, but their quarterback did not play, correct?
Their quarterback did not play,
okay.
Which makes a difference. Also, was played after a torrential downpour.
There you go. And then they beat Marion County, correct?
With
their quarterback.
With the quarterback, exactly.
You get to take the lead on this one then. How do you see it?
Sequatchie, Wattenberger's a good guy. Obviously, a good guy. When Sequatchie County went out looking to replace Adam Kane when he left, they said they made one coach, and it's the Wattenberger. They almost hired him last time, so he's obviously a good guy. He's been around for a good long while. But Jason Fitzgerald at Meigs, he's been at Ray County, he's been at Meigs County, he's won everywhere he's been.
All right.
Meigs County, they're in the same region as the Warriors are. I think they're probably the top team in that region. I think they take Sequatchie County tonight. Even with quarterback back for Sequatchie County, I think Meigs County wins this one.
Yeah. Lee?
I like Meigs County in this ball game, and I think it. I don't know, man. I tell you what, I just like Swofford.
I do too. Swofford's really good. He's a dual threat. He's listed as a dual threat on 247. Oddly enough, I don't think he's got any offers yet. Of course, he is just a junior.
Right.
And you mentioned Colin Hudson for Sequatchie did not play against you guys. He obviously was a difference there against Marion County as they won that game. They beat Cannon County, which I don't think Cannon County's that good, are they?
They're not that great, but they're one of those teams every year. Obviously, they get good guys as coaches in there. They teach the kids a lot more than just football up there. Their records don't really show it, but the guys they get in are good quality coaches or good quality people.
Right.
Well, what are you taking?
Lee, I'm going to go with Meigs County. I'm with you guys. I think the addition of Colin Hudson maybe makes this game a little closer. But Meigs County, Coach Fitzgerald's got it going on up there. I like them.
I think they win pretty good.
We actually, Sean, we had them our number 1 in 2A in preseason.
That's not a bad pick.
Yeah,
not a bad pick.
Cleveland and Catholic. We had Steve Matthews on with us a little earlier. Cleveland, Lee. I don't really know what's going on over there. That's what we told Coach Matthews. They had kind of a hiatus. Some kids left there. I think the returning quarterback decided not to play this year.
As a matter of fact, he started off here at South Pittsburg. He left here.
Oh, okay.
He started off in Cleveland, came down here as a freshman, then left and went back there to Cleveland. And then he quit. He decided not to come out this year. As a matter of fact, his grandfather still comes to some games down here. And real good quarterback, had a great arm. He could stand right here at the goal line, throw it to the 50, and it looked like I was throwing it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, just that easy.
Yeah.
But with him gone, I think that really hurts Cleveland this year. They were really putting a lot of stock in him. And with him gone, I don't know if it would have mattered with him there. Catholic's a great team.
Right.
But without him there, Catholic takes it.
Lee?
I like Catholic big.
Catholic big. And Jackson Moore stepped into that starting role at quarterback. And he struggled a little bit. I think he's thrown 4 interceptions to only 4 interceptions to 2 TDs. So he struggled a bit in that quarterback role. Of course, I couldn't even find any stats on him, so I think this may be his first year playing football. Because I looked back through Max Preps and they didn't have any stats on him. So he may be a kid, a lot of times they'll go to the baseball team and pull a kid off the baseball team to. And I don't know that
Give
that's
you
the
your
case.
best pitcher, and we'll see what he can do.
There you go. I don't know that that's what happened, but that may have been what happened. Catholic won this game 33-7 last year. I think Coach Matthews told us that it was kind of funny. I don't know if you heard that interview or not. But he said, we didn't think Saudi Daisy had a chance last year. We didn't even practice for him.
Yeah.
He said, I won't make that mistake again.
Yeah,
I almost got beat.
Yeah, that's not something you normally hear a coach admit to.
Yeah, well, I say he said they took a day off.
Right, I got you.
I may have overspoke what he said. But
Well, he said we did look ahead.
yeah, he said
He did say.
we overlooked him. He
Right.
said, I won't make
That's
that
easy to
mistake
do
again. Yeah,
sometimes.
it is.
I don't think they overlooked Cleveland
No.
tonight, and even with the backup quarterback Jancic being out, I think Knox Catholic's got too much.
I like Catholic. Boy, you guys like it loud out here, don't you?
It seems like it's turned down. These must be good headphones because it seems like it's down some right now.
That's all right. We like that music
That's
anyway.
right.
Trousdale County, Lee Teat, and my buddy Lee Teat went up there and just hexed the hell out of them last week. They wound up getting knocked off by Watertown.
Watertown's improved, though.
They are good, man. I think their quarterback broke his collarbone, though, Webster.
He did, and I'll tell you what happened in that ball game. Watertown's Heath Price comes in at quarterback and scores 21 points.
Oh, okay. So I had to leave at halftime. I think you did too, didn't you? So we didn't see
Price
that.
comes in from the receiver spot, goes to quarterback. They roll off 21 straight.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
He's an athlete.
So you couldn't have game plan for that. Couldn't have expected that to happen.
No.
They may have killed themselves by knocking the quarter back out. I think Trousdale County gets back on track tonight. Braxton Givens, all about him. He's a phenomenal athlete. Sean, I think Trousdale's going to have a game plan for him, though. How do you see this one?
I agree with you. Two teams that we know a lot about from past history. We've played Gorgeville more times in the playoffs than we played any opponent. Trousdale and South Pittsburg have had some great battles down here. Gordonsville, though, they've slipped a little bit the last few years. They've not got the talent they had for a long period of time. Trousdale seems to be getting their feet back under them after having a year or two down. I think the Yellow Jackets take this one.
I think so, too. Of course, they did get one of their running backs, Kobe Ford, came back last week from suspension. When they get Kevont Baines back, look out. They're going to be a dangerous team then.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard about Kevont Baines, but he's been out for the first half of the season. But I tell you what, when that kid's on the field, there's very few times at any level that they're going to have a better athlete on the opposite side. Wow. He's that good. I like Trousdale to get it done tonight. I think they'll just stack the box and try to do everything they can to stop Braxton Givens. And like you said, they're going to have to make Thaxton play the game of his life tonight to win.
Sean, you're over here in East Tennessee, so give us a little input on this. In Oak Ridge, Joe Gaddis' bunch takes on Eddie Courtney's Farragut team, really good team. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, Farragut's, Oak Ridge and Farragut, I mean, they've got a great history. The two programs do. They had some classic battles between those teams up there in Knoxville.
Right.
I think, though, this one, it's hard to really pick it. If you look at last year, both teams had similar records. They've got similar number of players coming back. Joe Gaddis been around. Well, both he and Courtney have been around for a while, but Gaddis has really been around a long time. 305 wins, as you see here. But I still think the Admirals have something for them tonight. I don't know what it is, but I'm leaning towards Farragut on the road.
What you got, Mr. Teat?
Well, I like Farragut on the road, and for one reason, their defense. Dude, they are lights out. They ain't giving up but 5 points a game now. And Bradley Central is not a bad squad. Bradley Central's a decent squad.
Yeah.
And, you know, them to 5, you've done something. They got a really good quarterback over there. So I like Farragut on the road in this ball game.
I do too. I think Farragut's just been dominating everybody they played. Like you said, they're scoring 41 points a game, giving up 5 points a game. They hadn't really had a close game. And then you got to look at last year's matchup where they beat Oak Ridge 41-0. I mean, everything to me is pointing to Admirals. So I'm going to go with you guys. I'm going to go with Admirals. I like them as well. Upperman and Livingston Academy. Lee Teat, you just mentioned Adam Kane. What do you think about Coach Kane?
That's Adam Kane is the reason I'm going with Upperman in this game. His first ever win was right here in 2015. That was also the last time. It was the first game of the season. It's also the last time South Pittsburg lost a game during the regular season here.
Really?
2015.
I didn't know that. Okay.
He's a great coach. He did great things at Sequatchie County. You look what he's done this year. You know, the game against Cookville to start the season, that one surprised me. But I'm going with Kane. I'm going with the Bees simply because of Coach Kane. He knows what it takes to build a team and to build them quickly.
Right. Lee?
At Livingston.
Uh-oh, he's thinking. I see smoke coming out.
Yeah. I tell you what, though.
I will be.
Talking to some fans. I tell you what, man, I like Upperman. I do. I think Upperman gets it done tonight. I think they beat Smith County 36-12. I think the Cavs a little bit down, but that was a pretty good win over a 6A Cookville team, and Livingston lost to Cookville the following week. I think Coach Maynard's trying to get his squad back on track.
Yeah.
I like Upperman in a tight ball game.
I like Upperman by about 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Upperman's the real deal. I'm sold, man. 36-12 over Smith County. And, of course, like you mentioned, beat Cookville and DeKalb County. I like the Bees, man. I like the Bees. Bees going to sting tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Science Hill and Greenville. And Greenville. What else do I need to say? What do you think about this one, Sean?
I don't think there's a doubt in this one. Science Hill's got a good program. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take anything away from them.
Yeah.
Stacy Carter's coach had a great career there, but Greenville, one of the top 5 teams, one of the top 10 teams at least in the state. Science Hill just outside of that.
All classes.
Yeah, especially going to be at Greenville.
We're going there. Devils. We're going to Greenville. When they play Elizabeth, and we're going to go there.
October 12th.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah, October 12th. Lee, do I need to even ask?
No, sir. Green Devils.
You're a Kane Ballard man, no doubt.
Hey, listen, I think Greenville's a top 5 team in the state.
Yeah, I think they are too, man. I mean, they whipped it on Dobbins Bennett there week 1.
They can play with anybody.
They beat Dobbins Bennett by 40, and that same Dobbins Bennett team beat Science Hill by 3. So what does that mean? I
Can't always compare scores.
Yeah,
it's a good place to start.
Yeah. I like Greenville. I don't think Greenville loses a game this year. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put them in Cookville, Lee. How about that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Anderson County's good too, though. Anderson County wore somebody out last night.
Well, Anderson County, they got into that Greenville ball game late last year, and their quarterback went down.
Yep.
What's his name? Stanton Martin.
They were leading.
They were leading that ball game, but I think Cade Ballard too much this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, fellas, we are closing in on the end of this thing. Elizabethton and Daniel Boone. This is another good game here. A couple of undefeated teams. Daniel Boone at 2-0. They beat Tennessee 26-21 last week. And then, of course, Elizabethton all over Sullivan East. They did beat that Science Hill team we were just talking about. Last year, Elizabethton won this game 35-21. These two programs are real close, aren't they, Sean?
Yes, yeah.
Physically, location-wise.
Location-wise, they're not that far apart. Of course, they've got the Whitten factor up there at Elizabethton.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Elizabethton. Go with the small guys against the bigger school.
Yeah.
Not much difference there, but I'm going to go with the Cyclones.
I like Elizabethton. Carter Everett. He's another man. East Tennessee's got some really good QBs.
32 meetings, Lee Teat, between these two teams. Elizabethton has won 30 of them.
Everett's thrown 9 TDs this year, 1 pick.
He's good. He is good. I mean, that's what you're saying. You got Stanton Martin, you got Cade Ballard, and, of course, Everett, all three in Region 1 and 2. They're going to be matched up in the quarterfinals again this year.
Right.
Probably the 3 best quarterbacks in the state, I think, in 4A.
Yep.
All right, so we're all unanimous Fighting Cyclones, right?
Yeah, I'm going with them.
All right, this one right here I thought would be a better game preseason, but it may still be. And the reason why I say that, Lee, Fulton, our buddy Rob Black, we got them picked number 1 in Class 5A, by the way. Sean.
Good pick.
They haven't scored a lot of points. They've only played 2 games. They haven't scored a lot of points. And one thing that kind of is a little troubling to me is their stud quarterback, Malone, only 26 of 57. He's completed less than 50% of his passes, 342 yards, 5 TDs. I don't think he's threw any interceptions, but that completion ratio, completion percentage is a lot lower than what you would expect out of a high-level recruit.
Now, you're about to talk me out of my pick here, it seems like. But there can be all kinds of factors in that, too, without saying the game. The first game of the season, we had it wasn't a great passing game, but we played in a quagmire. I mean, there was bad weather that night. Things just weren't going right due to that. So sometimes that number can kind of fool you a little bit, but I'm still going with the Falcons over the Roadrunners.
Yeah.
Awesome East, they've had some history up there, don't get me wrong, but I think Fulton still, I'm with you, I think they can be one of the top teams in the state still in 5A.
I do too. Lee?
I like Fulton tonight because of Coach Black's defense.
Yeah, they are stout, man. We saw them in that. We watched the stream of that Central game week 1. Coach Fulton, we had him on. Or Coach Fulton, you did the same thing last week. Coach Black, we had him on last week, and I think he said they held Central like 10 yards in the first half, something like it. It was some crazy number. And that defense, he even said that this is one of the best defenses he's had, and I think they're going to keep them in games until that offense gets on track. So I'm going Fulton as well.
I tell you what, if Austin East loses tonight, they'll be 2-2. Might be one of the better 2-2 teams.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because they lost to a big-time school in Ohio.
I talked to Derek Ring this week, Lee, Gatlinburg-Pittman's head coach. He's going to get on with us maybe in another week or two. He's in region with those guys, of course, with Alcoa. So that's a real tough region, top to bottom. I think they got Pigeon Forge in there as well, don't they? So, it's tough. I guess Austin East and Alcoa odds on to be 1-2 in that region.
I would think.
But it's tough. Riverdale and Spring Hill, this is 2 teams that need a win, Sean. Riverdale picked up a win over Siegel last week. They're 1-2 now. That was a region win, very important. They're 1-0 in the region. And then Spring Hill 0-3, and we talked about that earlier. They top 10. We had them dead gum guys in their top 10, and here they are 0-3.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. Lee and I got a theory here. You got to get Bubba the damn ball. Bubba Johnson is not getting the ball, Lee. We told him last week he has 7 carries a game. Okay, we're talking about a guy that averaged 21 carries a game last year, Sean. He had over 1,400 yards as a sophomore. He had over 1,000 yards as a freshman. The guy had 3 carries last week.
This is Butch Jones and Alvin Kamara. I mean, you get a guy that's had 1,000 yards in his freshman and sophomore years, you've got to give him the ball.
Yes, sir.
There's no way around it. I mean, you do things to make that happen. But that's I
don't know. Yeah. Who you like in this one?
You look at Spring Hill with all the returning starters. That looks good on paper, but I'm going with Riverdale for one. They've got the history, the more recent history of being a top program, but Spring Hill still they're still a bad taste in the mouth of people down here from Spring Hill. 1986 state championship game.
Yeah,
they win. We go for 2 on the last play of the game, and they hold us. So people here, we've got a bad taste.
Oh, you talking about carrying a grudge, man? Lee.
Riverdale big.
Yeah, Riverdale.
Yeah, I like Riverdale. I think Will Kreisky's team may have turned the corner. They found somebody to replace Savion Davis last week, Lee. They Drew Smith run for 258 yards, 3 scores. So that's what they needed all year, I think, was somebody to pick up the slack. Savion Davis graduated, Mr. Football winner last year. So I think they've got everything headed in the right direction. Here's your team right here, Lee. Take the lead on this one, brother. Your Bobcats travel to Portland Panthers. What's John Elmore's squad got to do tonight to get a win?
Oh, man, they got to get Micah Eskew the ball.
It's that simple.
Brandon Chambers and Micah Eskew, steady dose. They need he needs to grind it out, pound it. and he cannot go 0-2 to get into this region. You get 0-2 in this region, you're not going to get a home field playoff game. It's not going to happen.
All right, Lee, I just time slipped up on me. I know this young fella right here is going to have to go. Let's talk about this record. We won't make you pick it.
I'm taking Greenbrier.
Sorry, buddy, I didn't realize
It's all good.
Here we go. South Pitt sophomore quarterback Braden Sanders. I think he's going to have a big game. I think Marion County's going to come in here, and they're going to try to take your run game away. I don't think that's possible, but I would assume they're going to stack the box. What's your take on the game? I won't make you pick it, but what's your take on it?
Trust me, I will make the pick. No, but seriously, Marion had a big loss last week when Nelson went down. Brett Nelson went down. That's tough for them. It's going to be hard to recover. Something else to consider, they are their first year playing in a spread offense. They've gone from the wing tee to the spread this year. They've got a smaller offensive line than they've had in the past. So they're trying to do something to get more speed into it, get outside a little bit more. Use Isaiah Sampson, the quarterback, some more. Let him make some plays with his legs and his arm. Good quarterback, good athlete. You mentioned Braden Sanders, a sophomore for South Pittsburg. Tremendous ball player. Just a great quarterback, a great kid. He's a good runner. Had some injuries. That's a big thing for South Pittsburg. We've had 2 or 3 linemen banged up. Our top tailback, Ronto Tipton, was hurt last week.
Okay.
All these guys
He's playing tonight, right?
All these guys are hoping to play tonight, but they're still a little dinged up. But you got the big rivalry game. Rivalry, that's a tough word to say. Got the big game tonight, though. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter because unless you're talking about possibly playoff seeding due to your schedule. Mm-hmm. But non-district game doesn't matter. But for the people here tonight, it matters a lot. It's just, like I said, we've been playing since 1924.
Heck, they wrote a book about it.
Well, they've tried to write a book. Matter of fact, it was supposed to have been out a few weeks ago. Stephen Hargis, who wrote it, 8 Hateful Miles.
That killed him, too, I'm sure.
Good friend of mine. They're doing pre-sales right now.
Okay.
But he hopes to have it in here in about 2 weeks, but that's what the publishers told him for months now.
Right.
But I'm telling you, 2 years ago, this game, the problem with it, a couple of years ago, right here, it looked like they had mercy ruled us a couple of times. Looked like they were going to have a big win again. We ended up winning last-second play right here in this end zone right behind us. Mm-hmm. It's kind of stacking up like this, but the team's reversed. Looks like South Pittsburgh's going to win on paper. Game's not played on paper. Warriors come in with a big night tonight. But with that said, Coach Vic Grider is going for his 200th win tonight.
That's right. We mentioned
He's going for his 20th win against this team tonight. The Pirates are going for their 50th win against the Warriors tonight. And that pirate ship you see right there with the cannon on it, it's going to be firing broadside after broadside. Pirates big.
I like it.
Well, partner, we really appreciate you jumping on with us. Have a good broadcast tonight. We'll try to ease up there and holler at you at some point in time if you don't mind.
Please do it. If you're not here tonight, come back sometime. Be glad to talk to you.
Good deal. All
right.
right.
Guys.
Appreciate you. That's a drunken sailor right there, folks. And this has been the Friday main event. Lee Teat, we're out of time, my friend. And we appreciate all these great folks over here at South Pittsburg having us. This is why we do it.
You think he's amped up?
Oh, he's got to be. He's got to be.
They got a pirate ship over here, Mike, with cannons in it.
Yeah.
Pow.
I think these young ladies here are ready for us to get out of their way,
We about to.
So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up right here from South Pittsburg. Mike Motor, Lee Teat. Please do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen here. We need subscribers. Lee, I've got to go find some air conditioning. What I got to do? I'm about to die here, man.
Warm.
It's humid out here tonight. But, this has been the Friday Night Event, and we appreciate you guys. Lee, next week, I think I'm going to call John Olive. We're going to try to set up over, of course, Tullahoma's got a big game. Who did I tell you? Was it Spring Hill? I think it's Spring Hill next week. We're going to try to set up over and do a show from Tullahoma. Week after that, the plans are Oakland Blackman. That's going to be a huge game there.
That'll be it. That'll be a good one.
It's going to be good. But we appreciate you guys catching the show, tuning in the show each week. Again,